Does it ever feel like this world is getting more and more stupid? Well, maybe we all need to read Dr. Francis Collins' book, The Road to Wisdom. He's someone who came to fame as the person heading up the Human Genome Project and has gone on to work under three different presidents in the National Institute of Health. He was instrumental in the COVID response and trying to figure out what to do in this once in a lifetime pandemic. He acknowledges the mistakes made, the lack of communication, the change of communication as they figured things out. He talked about the inevitable collateral damage as they're trying to save lives, and that comes at the risk of economic and social damage. He talks about how both the left and the right often kind of have moved to the extremes, and it leaves this exhausted middle um, that some in the left try and suggest there's no such thing as genuine, real truth, except for the incidence of climate change, where they're very much all for science, and in the right, where they'll often be keen on the idea of truth being absolute, yet kind of embrace some of the false narratives around the world and climate change. He talked about how the vaccine levels were taken up differently in different countries according to their trust in government. And if they had a higher trust in government, uh, like places like South Korea and Denmark, then there was an increased vaccine acceptance. Similarly, there was a higher death rate for Republicans, 43% higher for those that avoided the vaccine and avoided some of the medical treatments. And then it's that astounding thing that political affiliation actually defined then health outcomes. He tries to suggest four different things as we work through how to decide what we trust. One, firstly, the integrity of that news source or that person. Secondly, their competence, as in, do they actually have the right, do they have the skills, do they have the knowledge to speak about an area? Thirdly, the humility, and one of the parts of that is humility to stay in their lane and kind of acknowledge the things they know stuff about and things they don't. And then fourthly, aligned values. And he tells this interesting story where he was used without his permission and with a study of things be shown to like a Christian audience, and some people saw his comments around vaccines and so on, and then there was as a control group, and then another group that saw of Christians that heard him talking about vaccines, and then that shared about his faith, and then those people were more likely to actually take up the vaccine. Anyway, great and interesting book. You should read it.